What's up everybody? Welcome to today's video, because today we're going to talk about new Lian fans and new streamers, because we're having wireless technology right here, and this is, well, it's a big question: is it actually wireless? So I'm gonna break it down to give you an idea what's it all about when we're talking about the fans and when we're talking about the cables. Right here we have Streamer Plus cables. These are 24-pin to 8-pin and 16-12 Streamer wireless cables. So how are they wireless? I'm gonna get to that part. But first, we have Uni Fan SL wireless LCD 120 regular and reverse blade, and we have Uni Fan SL wireless 120 regular and reversed fan. So in each of these packs you have three fans. You have the chip basically that goes and connects to the fans, and from that chip you have well, basically a connection towards your PWM header and USB 2.0, while you also have additional cable that doesn't run from it. But if you go with, if you go with the build that I did, you'll have to have 4 sets of these triple packs just to fill up the whole O11 Vision Compact if we go with the mesh on top. So taking all of this into consideration, you'll need PWM connections, and they had a solution for that. You have a SATA power that connects directly to your power supply, and it splits into 3 PWMs. But before we go and deep dive into all of this, they're all connected for power directly with the cable, and there is no workaround over there. You can't have wireless electricity yet, I guess, but for controlling the speeds and for controlling the lights, it's actually wireless, because you get a dongle that either connects directly to your USB at the back, or you can just simply chuck it at the back of the second compartment of any O11 case and connect it with USB 2.0 and PWM. This gives the power and connection for the USB, well, basically it's not a USB then, but gives a power towards that dongle to actually be a 2.4G receiver for all of these. Now, the cables. Let's start with the cables. They introduced the next-gen 2.4G wireless controller technology and LED power directly from the power cable, reducing cable clutter and allowing for compatibility with Uni Fan SL wireless or LCD or whatever, with a single controller. Now, as I stated, you have it available for 24-pin, 2 8-pin for the CPU, 2 8-pin for the GPU, and 16-12 for the GPU as well. So each of the streamers has a built-in controller, and it's located at the bottom. It actually goes at the back side of the case, so you're basically not seeing it, but it's nicely covered with the plastic cover, so it's not visible and it's not recognized. But at the back it's connected and taking power from the 24-pin or 12V HPWR or 2 8-pin cables directly to power up the chip and to give that 2.4G signal directly for your dongle. So the new light guides of the Streamer Wireless are basically designed to eliminate dead zones. So in those terms, lightning guides wraps around the power cable, and it basically hides the original cables that actually give power to your components. For the GPU streamers, for instance, the lightning guides or the lightning strips are now a single solid piece to basically ensure that perfect alignment. The 24-pin header is shortened for aesthetics, but what I would say for all these cables, they're a bit too long. So if you go, for instance, with the O11 Vision Compact like I did, the 12V HPWR is going at the back, it's fairly long, and the same thing happens for the 24-pin. Now, if you take that into consideration, that the cables are fairly long, depending on the case, of course, and depending on the length that you want to have it visible. For me personally, it was too long, because I managed it to do it like I did, and as you can see, and I still have loads of cables running at the back, but that is good, because then you can tuck it at the back and you basically have seamless lights going throughout them, and you don't see any connection towards it, because they are extenders after all. The 12V HPWR is basically a 90-degree cable, so it kind of helps with the connection, and depending on the GPU, you either connect it from the bottom or from the top, and you don't have to worry about placement in any of the cases or bending on any other issues. Each of the Streamer wireless cables has additional, let's say, plastic covers that either go with black, so in the box what you get are all completely black, but you also get additional clips or plastic covers that are in white. So depending on the color scheme of your build, you can completely combine what you want and go with that, change it quite easily. So L Wireless Sync controller has 10 channels, and when we're talking about channels, and this also concerns the SL Wireless fans, it can support up to 10 channels. So each computer only supports one L Wireless Sync controller. One controller can control up to 10 channels, and the L Wireless Sync currently supports up to 2 Streamer Wireless, but supports up to 3 streamers, which will be updated in the future. So if you go with additional 2 8-pin EPS, that's an option as well. So the synchronization is what I noticed when you go into L-Connect and you want to synchronize your cables. You have 2 varieties. So there is a new L-Connect 3 out that you need to download for everything. And what you do is you basically need to either choose one cable and then you organize the color scheme. You can go with static color, you can go with some mediocre, let's say mediocre effects, which don't have anything specifically, like no special effects, right? And this is where the static is possible to choose. But if you go in additional mode where you have like, I think 20 plus or something like that modes or presets to choose from, then you basically have the option to go wild, change the colors and all the other stuff as you had the option before. Now you're just doing it wirelessly, let's call it that way. So in those terms, when you're done choosing one cable, you just sync all cables and it works perfectly fine. You also have to do the binding process. So L-Connect will automatically recognize wireless devices that can be binded with the controller. There is a specific page in the L-Connect that does that, but Device Finder, so after pressing it, the corresponding device will light up yellow. So as you can see when I test out individual, including the SL Wireless fans, when I press it in the L-Connect, they light up yellow. This gives an indication that they are properly connected and that they work and that everything will be okay. Luckily, out of the first try, everything worked, so I really didn't have any problems with that. Of course, there is going to be, or there already is, a narrow version of the 12V HPWR cable. So that means that it will be 8 light guides instead of 12, which I have right here. 8 light guides for the 2x8 pin, and the same thing goes for the CPU EPS, and for the 24 pin we have 12 light guides. The pricing, $70 MSRP for 24 pin. 24 pin without the controller is $59.99. Then we have 2 8-pin for the CPU, $49.99. GPU, $49, the same thing. GPU narrow one, no controller, $49.99. GPU 12V HPWR wide, $59.99, and wireless controller additionally $17.99 if you don't buy it with the 24 pin or any of these 3 packs. Now it's basically time to check out the fans and the whole build, because I have to admit, the fans are silent. The fans are really good, and I'm not surprised in that sense, but they look good. I mean, we're talking about the SL version, so the SL was either hit or miss with the audience, and I know the Infinity Mirror ones were more popular, but these ones have loads of stuff going on. And the cool thing, this is for the first time that you can combine the regular ones, the Uni Fan SL Wireless, with the Uni Fan SL Wireless LCD in one row. So you can interlock them and they will work, because the software will recognize the difference between the LCD and non-LCD one. And this gives you an option to combine, play around. I don't know, if you don't want to have 3 LCDs on the side, you can go with 2+1, or you don't want to have 2 LCDs here at the back, you can go 1+1 or whatever. It's all up to you. In each triple pack, as I stated, you already get the USB dongle that connects to your fans with 2.4G connection. So each of the fan segment has that connection that goes into PWM and the USB 2.0. Basically with this, you'll definitely need an edge power supply to connect all the USB 2.0 ports. If I got this correctly, because I connected each segment to a USB 2.0 at the edge power supply at the back, giving connection towards everything, basically. Otherwise, I don't think there would be a possibility to control it, because you after all have to connect to get the power. because we need power for the lights and we need power for the RPMs, for the speeds. So yeah, there's that. But wireless controller supports Uni Fan SL wireless and Streamer wireless, and even more in the future apparently. Each controller supports 10 channels, as I stated, with the streamer cables, and can be plugged into motherboard back IO ports or internal 9-pin USB port. So that's USB 2.0, and you have the cable running out of it that connects to that part. The LCD ones go to USB 2.0 and the PWM, and the regular ones, non-LCD, just PWM. So there's that, and cable length can be shortened with the organizer, of course, on the receiver, because you can time up around it and you'll actually have less cables at the back, less clutter when you circle it around the receiver. What does this basically mean? We're losing that standard regular controller that we used to have at the back, and we're having 2.4G dongle that is connected with that wireless technology to the fans, giving you an option to control the RPMs and RGB. So you're losing the cable clutter at the back. You're tying up unnecessary cable length around that chip because it has a nice cable tie and you can wrap it around, and you use the exact amount of cable length that needs to be connected. So PWM and that USB 2.0, depending if you're using the regular or LCD ones. You can hide the dongle at the back if you're not connecting it to the USB 2.0 port, and basically, why not? I mean, if you have limited USB ports at the back, I would definitely suggest flipping it at the back side of the case in the second compartment or in the power supply shroud, depending which Lian case are you using. And after all, when I take a look at the USB now, it's actually almost taking up the second slot as well, because it is a bit thicker. After all, we do need to have a proper connection with that 2.4G wireless towards the fans, so it needs to be a bit bigger, unfortunately. So you can connect 4 fans, 2 Uni Fan SL LCD wireless or 2 Uni Fan SL wireless. Then the second option is 4 Uni Fan SL wireless or 3 Uni Fan SL LCD wireless. So we have 2 lightning zones. SL wireless and LCD version both have addressable RGB design update with 2 lightning zones on each side for quite cool design. Basically, we have the ones that you see that are much thicker, and then you have a smaller line going right above the aluminum front part, just above and just beneath it. Fans feature fluid dynamic bearing, and the fan speeds go up to 2000 RPMs for the SL wireless, 1900 RPMs for the SL LCD wireless. We have 1.6-inch LCD display with a resolution of 400x400. It supports MPG, GIF, pictures in JPG and PNG format, and full customizable in L-Connect software, where you can also capture the screen. L-Connect synchronization is a bit different this time. What we have right here is you have a picture of your fans. You can click on lighting effects setup, LCD screen setup, or fan profile setup, because you just simply use your mouse and hover around the fan and you get a dedicated zone to adjust everything. The binding is the same thing as on streamers, so you have the possibility to get them light up yellow just so you see that they are recognized. Then for the SL wireless fan profile, after clicking on the fan blade, you get the possibility, well, a drop down menu to adjust presets. Then for the LCD configuration, because we have now triple settings, let's call it that way, when you click on the screen you have more options, and it kind of goes into the same thing as Uni Fan TL LCD. You get an option with connection depending on how many fans you have connected. This time I didn't see the RPM for the fans, I only saw CPU and GPU temperature, CPU and GPU load, so I think that will be updated. What I can say is this is definitely a step forward when we're talking about connection, losing cables and similar stuff. Of course, if you're shocked with the USB dongle sticking out the back of your computer, you can just place it back and you have much smaller controller, tidier and neater cables, which definitely brings to the point where it's easier to connect, it's easier to organize. And when you take into consideration that if you're going with the LCD wireless fans, you do need a USB 2.0 adapter, because for instance, this is USB 2.0, this is USB 2.0, those are USB 2.0, and if you use this dongle and you place it at the back, you need another USB 2.0. So the only solution to shorten down the number of those connections you use the dongle and place it at the back. But then again, they have the Edge power supply, which has 4 extensions directly on the power supply, so you can connect everything. And basically I have one left open, so there's that as well. Pretty cool possibility to customize everything, but we get more presets for the streamers without a doubt, and these look also quite nice. Really digging the 90-degree angle for the 12V HPWR, and they are really flexible. Those cables are really insanely flexible, and you don't lose any connection, so you don't have to worry about that. These fans are just something, I would say, just a step forward, right? I won't go into discussions. We lost the cables for controlling the speeds and for controlling the lights, and that's outstanding. We're going forward, not sure when the electricity will go wireless, but who knows. That's a topic for a completely different discussion, and definitely nothing to do with computers at this point, right? So guys, the links if you're interested in this combination, because we have O11 Vision Compact, we have Edge power supply at the back, we have Galahad 2 LCD 360 here, we have Uni Fan SL Wireless 120 regular and reverse blade. We have Uni Fan SL Wireless non-LCD regular and reverse blade. And we have STRIMER Wireless 12V HPWR and 24-pin also wireless. And that's it. So guys, links are in the description. Check them out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell. See you soon. Bye.